Hi everyone, so today I want to share some of these new sets that Stamps by Me has brought to HSN. I believe this one's called Set Me Free and this one Perfect Bloom. I did open them when I showed you the new items that I did receive to try out, and actually the wording's right there, Set Me Free, Perfect Bloom. So in a different video, I'll link that video in the description box so you can check it out. In that video I also used some of the new items to create a really fun card. So today, I'll be trying out one of these guys, but I did open this up just to show you what's in there. These items were sent free of charge for my review. Of course, all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items through those links. I had shown you what was in here because, you see the packaging, but you might not be able to really tell like what exactly is in here. Of course, the links, or the little shopping bag here will take you to the product page, and it'll show you all about what is included, but I did want to open it up to show you guys. I think I'll probably work with the Set Me Free set today, but this again is called Perfect Bloom. It has the stencil and die in the collection, or in the package here. So here it's showing you the different steps of the stencil, which is really great. In this one, I mean, you have your flower you're focusing on, then you have a couple shades of greenery. I think it's really easy to use. And look at the size of that die. Oh my gosh, this is going to be gorgeous. I was going to make a shape card today with this guy. This would be great also for a shape card. So it does have the two dies. It has the shadow layer or your card base or topper, whatever it is you want to do with it. And then this guy in here is not an inlay. It does its own thing, right? It does its own like silhouette kind of thing there. So it is 6.5 inches deep. I'm trying to look at the very top of that to the very base of this, and then in the other direction just about 5 inches, maybe a little over, just depending where it's peeking out here. So it's a good size card if you're gonna make your card out of it or however. I will show you that she does have her QR codes there so you can scan it and get more ideas, all those kinds of things. And then today I'll be using this one here. Some info. She does this, Tony, when I say she, this is Tony and Tim, Tony, Derek, about how she designs and, what she's thinking. She's just such a fun person. If you guys have seen any presentations of hers or her channel or however, she's just really, really sweet. So again, this one's going to show you 1 through 6. Of course, you can, do your layers however you like. Let's say you want something to be glitter paste or texture paste, maybe you want to wait to the end for that one, right? So just, I would follow along. I'll probably follow along today and maybe at the very end do a little glitter paste. Actually, I would like this part to be the glitter paste, see? So if you think about it, you might change your mind, but you really want to pay attention to the layers and where they're going so that you can do that. If I put the glitter paste and then this other pinky color comes later, that might not work out. So it might just be the very last layer I would do that with, but we'll go over that. Yeah, hold on, I'm checking this out. I think, we'll see. Okay, in the other video I did not measure the size of this guy, so it's down here, huh? It's about 5.5 inches tall, I would say, and I'm trying to look at the very edges of these guys, maybe 5.25 in the other direction, and then you have that silhouette die. I think I'm going to try to use everything that's in the kit, so, we're going to make a shaped card. I might make a shaped card the way Tony had shown it. It's a little bit different. You basically just cut this out twice and then score the one in the back that maybe easels, so it's an easel kind of thing. Usually when I do a shaped card, I'll just leave this at the very top of the card where it folds, and then that piece is pretty much gone, and then I do another piece on top of that that's the same. So there's different ways of doing this kind of thing, whatever it is that you like, what you find easiest or best for your project. So the one I'm going to show you basically is like an easel. The other one you could also stand it up, possibly, right? It just depends on the bottom of this guy if you can stand it up. But okay, let's put these things to the side, and then we have our stencils. So I'm going to grab some paper. I'm thinking possibly of bringing in the groovy papers. I just need a little bit of paper. I'm going to basically do everything from scratch, But there we go. So again, you have these beautiful stencils. Let me see if they're, yeah. So here's number 1 and number 2. And then 3 has some flowers and a little bit of the bird pieces. 4 has a little bit of bird and some flower accents. 5 is just bird accents, and then 6 has some greenery and some other things, which actually I really love because honestly, if I'm doing a hummingbird, I'm thinking blues and greens and purples and maybe some other fun colors to throw in there. So even with this one, being with the flowers, maybe we do some pink, So, yeah, I'm going to take a moment though to study these and see which one I would like to maybe do a little paste. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Yeah. Okay, so maybe number 6 is going to be the one that I use some glitter with. But let me grab some papers. Like I said, I think I want to use some of these guys. So this is the Stay Groovy paper pad, it says. I don't know if it's stuck together, so let's check it out. So there's, again, some info. And let's check this out. Okay, so they're loose leaf, but it says paper pad. On the front, you have some inspo there of what all is in here. They are single-sided. They smell like good paper. I love that. If you love paper, you know what I'm talking about. When you smell it, it just smells like papery. Like kind of like a brand new book, but a little different. But anyway, the paper itself, I don't know what weight to tell you this is. It's much thicker than layering, like a piece of, you know, printer paper or like layering weight. But less thick than like 85-pound cardstock, you know, so I don't know what to tell you, but feels pretty good. Oh, I want something just fun. Look at all these. So I'm just going to fan through them. There are quite a few. It says 5x7 paper pad, 25 designs, 75 pages. So 3 of each, 25 designs. I mean, it is quite groovy. So let's turn those guys. Trying to show you everything. Oh my gosh, look how cute that one is. Oh my goodness. These are really lovely. Oh, I love that. And only a little bit's going to peek out of what I'm going to do. So, you know, I'm going to just try to get something that gives me a splash of color. Maybe even one like this one. I'll put that to the side for now. Look at that. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. These are going to be gorgeous as backgrounds, and maybe just a simple sentiment over the top. I mean, really. So cute. Okay, I hope I'm not skipping too many. Look at this one. Oh my gosh, you guys. I know Diamond Press has that Groovy Alpha. How cute would those be together? Look at this. Okay, hold on. Gorgeous. Really fun. I mean, look at the blues. Oh my gosh. Love this. I feel like I had a dress when I was a little kid that's like this, and I still have it. It was like kind of like organza, like see-through, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like gauzy on the top. I remember that, and then underneath it had like a brown liner, and the flowers, it was just like this. Oh my gosh, how cute. It's funny because I have a few outfits from when I was little, and that's one of them. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I remember wearing Buster Brown shoes, stuff with like Annie on it. Okay. Let me grab some papers for our card base, and then we'll get started with the stenciling, but I'll be right back. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to do this kind of like what Tony had shown. So she basically just had 2 pieces that were cut. So, you know, just run this through. Whatever machine will take a die of this size that you have there. So I'm just going to run that through. I'm also going to want this detail to be black just to make it really bold. But, you know, I had seen an example where they run it through, you know, just like a pattern paper. It looks really lovely, or just, you know, ink up some paper and then run it through. All kinds of fun things. So I'll also run this guy through. So I'm going to get 2 of these and 1 from this. So I'm simply just die cutting right now. Just 1 from this guy. He fits right on there. Oh my gosh, check that out. Look at that. So 1 from this guy, 2 black ones, and then I'm also going to run this one through just some black paper, okay? And I'll be right back. Let me pop that through. I will say these are some really sturdy dies. I know sometimes you run a die through and it'll just kind of like maybe warp a little bit or move a little bit or do something. This is solid. Really, really nice. And let me pop this guy out. There are a lot of bits they're going to cut away. And I'm not sure if I have it. There we go. So we have this silhouette. And I love that it includes the background. I know a lot of times I'll get silhouette dies where it's just the silhouette, and then you're like, okay, like, you know, how do we really work with this? So I love that there's a shadow layer along with this guy. I'll poke out all the little pieces that still need to fall out, but you can see really pretty. Okay guys, so you know, as I was cutting this last one out, I was just thinking about it. I actually don't need to have this pretty guy cut out from this, because I'm going to do my stenciling and I'm going to use the outline die to then cut it out. But I can show you what that might look like if you had like a beautiful pattern paper in the background. Oh, I still have little bits here. There we go. and then your shaped card. And so what I want to show you about this shaped card is basically this is different than the way I normally do it, and I did cut it after I cut the white paper, so some of that little paper residue is still on there, but it'll come away. It's two different ones, and we're just going to score one of them, and then that's what's going to be your, you know, the easel in the background. So let me do that right now. And let me see here. I guess I'll just take a scoring tool. And then you would still pop this up, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So let's see here. If I have this kind of nice and straight, what I would consider to be straight, maybe it's like this. I want to see, because if it's up like that, we want to score it like here, right? So to me, this would be the straight part. I'm just trying to see where if I had this straight on some lines, like there, where this line should be. And, you know, I'm just going to choose a spot, maybe above the little area here. So that's at 2 inches. I don't know what it would be for you if you decide something else is straight, but at 2 inches, I'm putting a score line. Okay? So again, this is a little bit different. Normally, I would just fold a card base, you know, have a card base that's folded, and then just run my die through the folded piece of paper like this, so it's off the edge a little bit on where the fold is. And I've done that many, many times, so you can just check out those kind of videos, any shaped card video I might have, or that anybody might have. We pretty much do it the same. So I'm going to put this glue here, and then bring this guy back over, top of that. And we're going to let that become one. But essentially that's what's going to have your easel shape card, right? Now, you can imagine if I had this guy, I would just glue that down, maybe even with dimensionals if you want to pop it up a little bit. And then you can glue this guy down, maybe do some paper piecing or just have that beautiful silhouette, and then maybe a sentiment here, you know, somewhere. But today we're going to do the stenciling. So let me let this set up. We're still going to use this guy. So for now, I'll put these guys to the side. That's not glued there, it's just glued at that 2 inches, right? So it stands up. Let me grab a white piece of cardstock. It doesn't have to be white. I mean, you guys know there's all kinds of mediums and different things you can use. If you want to use a colored paper, you can definitely do that. But I'll do white, so it's very stark. We can all see it very well. And I'll grab some inks and all that. I'll be right back. So I just got a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, just a bigger piece of paper because this is a kind of a bigger design. It's bigger than, you know, your A2 size. I'm going to start with number 1. And it does have registration marks. Now I can just kind of line it up at the corner of my paper since it's big enough to do that. But there are little registration marks which I actually have fallen in love with after I was doing more stenciling and actually paying attention to registration marks. They are there for a reason. They are your friend for sure. But for right now I'm just going to just put it on the corner of my paper. And I'll just do a little taping here and maybe to the surface. And so this is the body of our little guy for the most part. So, you know, what color do you want this mostly to be? I was going to look for this. So you can kind of have an idea, you know, his body. So at the end, that's what I was thinking, I might use a paste, and that's what she has here, like some glitter. So texture paste, whatever it is you like. But knowing, you know, the base is the body of our little guy. I brought out some different pinks and purples and greens and turquoise, teal kind of colors. I do really am attracted to these kind of colors for our little guy, like blues, teals, purple, green, you know, those kinds of things. So I will start with, let's say, this color here. And usually when I stencil, I go light to dark. And you can look at your stencils and see what they're kind of requiring. But generally you're building up your color. But if they're completely separate from each other, then that probably doesn't matter, you know, as much. So there we have that. Hold on, let me look at this. I was trying to see what this little bit might be at the end here. And it's hard for me to tell, to be honest. So we have this piece. Oh, it's right here. It's this little bit right here. So maybe it's a piece of a plant. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's there. All right, we have that, or like that leaf. That's what it might look like. So that's layer 1. And I'll go ahead and remove this. And I'll just rinse these off. I am using water-based dye ink, so it rinses off really easily, so I'm not in a rush to do that. Number 2, again, I put it right up to the corner, but if you're using the registration marks, just line up your little hearts. That looks lined up really well. So there we go. And again, more of your little bird. This includes his face and all those kinds of things. So, you know, what color do you want to use for that? Let's see, I didn't really choose a color yet for that guy. Maybe I'll do like an orangey yellow. And yeah, you have your inspo there you can definitely use. You can look up images of birdies, which is something I like to do whenever I'm not super sure. Let's use this corn silk. And this does not have to be the same color as this. Like if I'm doing the face here, and I know I'm sorry, hopefully you can see, maybe that's what we'll do. You know, it has some yellow here. But maybe I want to do the rest like purple. So yellow there. I don't even have to mask it off because they're far enough away from each other, the colors, that it's not a big deal. And then I'm just going to take this guy. It looks purple enough, right? There we go. Let me bring this in. And add some, maybe this one. Again, a little bit lighter in case I bring purple in later too. Right there. And a little bit here. Okay. So let's take that guy off. And look at that. Cuter and cuter. Number 3 is going to have flowers for us, plus a little bit more of our little bird here. So I'm just lining that up. And this one does overlap some of the color that's already there. So that's kind of what I was trying to pay attention to earlier. That looks really good. I'm trying to really make sure this is lined up really well. Look at the flowers over here. Okay, so this is the top of our little bird's head plus this area here and some flowers. You know, if you want to make it all the same color, we can definitely do that. You can mask areas off. I did want to start getting into some pink with my flowers, so I want a light pink and then go in with a darker pink for the accents on that. So I'm just going to take this and let's go with a super light pink. It's almost a coral peachy color. And I'm just doing all of it, so our little bird is also going to have this kind of color within him. Love that. Oh, there's actually some pieces up here. Again, if you want to change up the color, you can definitely like do this whole wing area without that color. You can go with something else for sure. It kind of is blending with the teal that's underneath, so it's making its own color there. So there we go. Okay. And sorry, I'm just trying to grab this without getting too much ink all over my hands. There we go. And then we have our 4th one. Yes. 4th has a little bit more on the head, a little bit on the tail, a little bit here, and then the accent colors on the flower. And I think that's it for the flower, so I'm just going to line this up. And I'm eyeballing it at this point, but I am looking at the corners here just to make sure I still have it pretty much where it needs to be. And let's go with the darker pink. Maybe this berry. That one's much darker. And again, accent colors here. Oh, that's so pretty. It's going over some of the same colors from the previous round. So just making sure I'm filling that in really nice and bright in the tail area. That's our 4th one. Look how pretty. And then let's go to, I think I'm done with the pink, possibly. So I'll just put this, oh, the lid needs to go like this. Okay. Let's see. This guy has this little pretty bits, and then the last one. So let's go ahead and take this. And again, if you want this to be glittery or something else, I mean, it is going to go over the top of some of the pink areas here. So let's go with a dark purple with that one because I haven't brought that back. Let's do violet. And I'm going really dark because it's going to go over some of the pink that we already did. So I really want that too. Cover that up. Just at the little tail ends here. Right in here. Now, before I use the glitter, I'm going to cut this out, because otherwise I'm going to have to wait for quite a while before I can run it through, because glitter, it does take a little while to dry, but underneath, I mean, to make sure it's really, really dry, I would never run it through a die cutting machine until maybe a day or two later, right? So I'm not going to wait a day or two for that to happen. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this. How pretty. And before we do my last layer, this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut this guy out. So, you know, you can imagine this would be here. So it'll be a little trickier because when I come out, I'm only going to have the piece that I need to work with, but that's okay. I'm going to grab my die. This is, again, the outline, the outer die here. And, oh, you know what? I was going to say, I might have an idea where this is going to cut, but I guess you could just go ahead and do like the green color and then come back in with the glitter stencil just so that you know you're where you need to be. But I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. You see how high it is there and here and there. That seems like it's okay. Okay, let's move over just a little more this way. I'm going to go ahead and tape that down right now, so I can run this through. Obviously I'm going to trim it down so I can put it in my die cutting machine. I'm going to run that through and then we'll do the last layer of the stencil. At least that's how I'm doing it, okay? I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I hope that makes sense. I mean, if you have time to just let it sit, you know, with your glitter paste or your texture paste or whatever it is, then, you know, go for that. That's perfectly great. I like to keep it moving, so I just want to go ahead and have that finished up. I am going to apply the paste and I'm going to let it sit for a little while because it does take like 15-20 minutes to dry to where it's like, you know, when you touch it, it's not sticking to your hand or to your fingers. But for it to be completely dry all the way through, you want at least 24-48 hours in my opinion. So we have this beautiful thing. Again, I don't have the last layer ready to go. I'm going to get this. And you can imagine with this pretty guy on top of that, it's going to have more of the detail. And look how pretty that is. Very, very nice, right? That looks awesome. And I didn't even do the last layer. Very pretty. Okay, so we're going to take this guy, and I'm going to be careful about this, but basically this is already on here, so I'm just going to take number 6 and eyeball where it needs to be, because now we don't have registration marks, we don't have our paper to help us out at the corner of it or however. So I'm just seeing where these flowers should be and kind of like these areas, looking at the wing here, and that all looks lined up pretty good in my opinion, or pretty well. Yeah, I mean, let me move it up maybe just a little more there. That looks pretty good. Okay, and let me take this tape off of here and use it again for this to kind of help me hold that down a little bit. Or get new tape. You don't have to keep recycling tape. I just pretty much will keep using it till it's either too sticky because you use this so much, or not sticky anymore. So those are two issues that you want to not run into. I'm just going to use this really green glitter, and I'm going to let that go through the body and everything. But if you want, you know, different colors, you can definitely work with it that way. But I'm just going to basically get this on here. So just take quite a bit and turn your project however it makes it easiest for you to do this. So I think I'll start here and just kind of bring it in. Bring it all the way down in here. Really nice stencils. I don't know if I mentioned that the stencil material is lovely. And I was just trying to gather back up. I don't know if you saw that. That kind of helped me pick it all back up. And I still have this wing portion to do. Okay, I think that's everything. So I'm just going to gather back all my little glitter, not to waste too much, and put it right back into the pot. And I mean, that didn't take very much at all. And it'll be shinier and shinier as it dries because it has a binding agent that's usually kind of milky color. So as you wait, it just gets even more spectacular. I like to wipe this off with a paper towel before I rinse it because I don't want to get this into any kind of water supply or anything else. So that's what I try to do. And I'll show you how pretty this is. But again, it'll be shinier and shinier as it dries. Pretty pretty. Okay, I'll be back. So everything rinsed off beautifully. If I recall at the end, I'll show you they're just good as new. Stencils, they are going to get, you know, stains and stuff stuck on them, and they're still going to work because they're plastic. Like, they're basically indestructible. But I do want to show you that it did wash off really nicely. So I actually have an errand to run, so I'm going to go do that, and that will actually give me time for this to dry a little more. Anyway, if I was going to just keep moving on, if I didn't have the silhouette to put on top, I would have just glued this down. Even right now I can glue it down and kind of push wherever, or glue this down already, do my stencil, and you're done with it, you know. But for now I'm just going to leave it separate. Look how pretty that is, you guys. So this is without the silhouette, and it's lovely. It has its own detail and texture and everything's there, so no worries, but it's going to look even more amazing when this is on top. So I will let that sit. Like I said, I'll be back probably in a couple of hours, and we'll finish up our shaped card with a little sentiment, and it'll be really lovely. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so it has been a few hours, but we're ready to put this guy together. So again, you know, if you want to pop it up, and maybe it's something we can do. Should we do that? Why not? Okay, so let me go ahead and glue this one onto here, and then the rest will just pop up. And I want glue that's going to grab pretty quickly. When I have something thinner like this, of course you have like sticky sheets, all these things that companies are coming out with, you know, fine tip. Sometimes I'll put glue on the back of my hand and just dip into that. So I'll probably come in and add glue where I can, but I'll probably end up putting it on the back of my hand because this guy is pretty delicate. So what I'm going to do is just put glue where I have larger areas, just to really make sure those areas get glue on them. Here. And then I'll go ahead and put some glue just on the back of my hand. And we'll pop on a sentiment and we will be gold. So I think that might be enough. Really getting that around the edges, especially. Ooh, a little more. Some bigger die cut than I keep thinking. Ah. And there we go. And I'm just gonna eyeball where that should be. It looks like it's right on the edge there. I'm looking at like the leaves and the flower petals. Something like that. That looks good. Just going a little area at a time. I think once I have it here, that's pretty solid. Maybe this guy can be a little further up here. Okay, that looks really great. And then these little guys, you can kind of manipulate them, fit right where you want. That looks really good. So what I'm going to do is flip this over and just rub from the back because I don't want to damage anything, my little die cut. And I'll be right back to show you that. I already saw it looked really awesome, but I'll show it to you in just a second. I'm going to go wash my hand too. Okay, let's see if that's enough. Look how pretty. And it just adds that detail. Again, looks gorgeous even without the fine line detail, but that just finishes everything off so nicely. So what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on the back of this guy. Not too high, but just some, well, we'll use these guys. A little bit. Maybe 1/8 of an inch, a little smaller. Or a little thinner, should I say. And I'm just going to place them strategically all around this. So I will be back. Okay guys, so I have dimensional adhesive all around there, and I'll bring this guy over, and again I'm just going to line it up so that I can see pretty well what I'm doing. So there's that before I really push down, just lining it up with the card base that we created. I think that looks pretty good, and I always like to turn things like this over and squeeze it from the back. So there we go. Okay, so card base. Remember, it's kind of like a shaped easel. It'll stand like this, and I kind of paid attention to that as I was creasing it, because if I had creased it so that it's like this, it's not going to stay up on this little bitty portion of it. So I put our crease so that it would stand there, and I'll try to get pictures of that, guys. I know it's kind of hard because it's here, but how pretty is that? And I just grabbed a sentiment I already have cut from, you know, another time, so I think I'll just put this on here. Just gonna put some lower profile dimensionals on that guy, and I'll pop it on there, and I'll be right back. Just put some lower profile dimension on that, and then again paying attention to that it stands up basically like this. Now if it's easier for you to stand it up to see where this needs to be, you know, then do that. But if I'm paying attention to this being straight, basically, we're gonna pop this guy on. Oh my gosh, where? So pretty. Right down here. I might move that one dimensional. And look at that. So pretty. I love having stencils with dies. I love that this one has a shadow and the silhouette, so you can definitely do paper piecing if you like to do things like that, or however you like. But there it is, that beautiful glimmer or glitter paste to just set everything off. I love the dimension on these flowers. It looks so pretty, and we have our gorgeous little bird all decked out in all his different colors. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks so much, Sam, for sending these items for review. Keep an eye out. I will get to the floral one. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to make a nice big card front or card. And I'll have some images for you guys. I'll have the links there, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.